So, this is my 5th production log, I think. It's either my 5th or my 6th. And I want to say, if I start dying, I'm sorry, but I'm ill. So, yes, that happened. But yes. So, I previously have done an analysis of mastheads and magazine names and an analysis of my survey. Okay. And both were really good because, well, the analysis of names was quite good because it helped me with my own names and what made a good name and what made it effective. And the mastheads was very good with the ideas about how I want to create my own masthead, where I want to put it, how it will be incorporated into the rest of the magazine. So I do have to think about font, I feel, quite a lot, because if I'm going to put it in the corner of each of my pages or something like that, I need to have like, a good font. Yeah. Fonts would be good, wouldn't it? And so yeah, I do need to think about font positioning. I probably know what I'm going to do with it, but it was quite interesting seeing how other people did it and why. And yeah, so Masters was quite interesting, and so was the names. And the analysis of my survey is quite interesting, looking at why people didn't get magazines so often. So some people just weren't interested in reading music magazines, which was fine. But then lots of people didn't get the magazines because they didn't have a subscription because the subscriptions were too much. So I think I need to do something about subscriptions. And there were definitely some things that I decided to do over what I decided not to do because of my survey. So, for example, I like a letters page I was gonna do, and instead I have still got a thing at the beginning of my magazine which is called The Noise. Whether I have to make it or not, I don't know. Maybe, but it's called The Noise. I'm assuming I don't. And yeah, and it's where you have like letters and stuff. But I was thinking of making it more about tweets, bands, tweets, things like that. So less of a letters page and more of an overall just Twitter thing, Instagram thing, just kind of incorporating social media more into it and being like, this is our social media for the magazine, come and check it out, and things like that. Which I also wanted to incorporate into the subscription thing is the idea of having like bonus thing. So getting the unseen material or something. I also was thinking about it, and I was thinking for the subscription I could do something like you have the option of whether you want it as a magazine or on your iPad or as a digital copy or what, because lots of people were saying that they only read magazines on holiday, or they would only read them if they could get them on their iPad or on that kind of tablet thing. So I think that would be a good thing to incorporate into my whole shabam. Yeah. So presently I have literally just finished doing a contents page text post and a post concerning a band list, and it was so hard to work out pages. And if I was going to make this a full magazine, it would be about, I think it got up to about 68 pages long, or something like that. That wasn't including the front and the back cover, because I don't count those as pages even though they are pages. So yeah, that's page 0 and page 69, I guess, if you include the front page and the back page. But yeah, and working out where things went, because I'd have some random page that I wouldn't know what to do with. So lots of those ones I put in adverts, because looking at magazines, which I have an NME magazine just on me and a Kerrang magazine, and I was looking through them at what they did with just random spaces, and lots of it was like concert things. Let me find like an example. So yeah, there was lots of this in this one. There were lots of this kind of page where it would be like tour dates of other bands and everything, and like mini adverts for things, which were presented by a company, and I was thinking for lots of the random pages I have, because obviously I'm not going to have to put in adverts, but I did want to incorporate that to make it more realistic and to work out page numbers, because I don't want some random page, if you know what I mean, because I can't have an article end and then a new article begin unless they are in a similar section. So like reviews, I can do a review a page, whereas with, say, my features, I can't do a feature, have it end on page 63 and then start another article on 64, because that'd be weird. So I just added in like an advert section because I plotted out how I do my pages. And with the band list, it was quite hard because I was a bit confused about whether I should do it at the beginning of the article or specifically where they came up, because in some of them, the band or the band members would be melded together because they'd be talking with each other or they'd be next to each other or whatever. But whereas in some of them, it was, I kind of set it out more as in they would talk on this page, but some of them I just had to start. For example, I'm doing, on my features it says that there is an article about the best year of rock, which would be a regular thing, and I think it was 1987, and I had picked about 4 bands that were going to talk about it. But the first 2 pages of this feature kind of thing were just kind of overall pages about what was going on in 1987, the kind of music that was out there, what was beginning, what was ending, like who had died, if anyone had died, that kind of thing. And then I'd go into the bands talking. So I just kind of started it off at 61 because I thought, because otherwise it just seemed a bit weird because other bands would be there or whatever. It just seemed a bit weird for me to start on any other page, even though they were each going to have a specific page to talk. So like a Frank Zappa page and a Faith No More page where a frontman or a member of the band would speak. I had to check to see if all the people would be alive for it to make sense, and it did. So there were some of them where I had to just work out page numbers and just make my own decisions with it, because there was no set way in my head to do it, because I'm sure every band list is different, whereas some will have the start of an article, others will have an exact page where like one person says something, I'm sure. So I kind of just had to make my own decisions with that, like just do it. I'm assuming that the next thing I will be doing in the future is going to either start creating my contents page or start writing up my feature article for House of Atreus and Skeleton Hotel and everything like that, or a mixture of both. Some kind of creative thing, I'm assuming, because I've done all my research now. My research is done, finished. I'm so happy because I'm not a huge fan of research. It depends, but I do much more like the planning side. So some of the research was quite interesting. Off the top of my head, but looking at the different double page spreads was quite interesting, and that kind of analysis bit was quite interesting, because I got to look up My Chemical Romance, which was nice, and just getting some ideas in my head, because I don't really read music magazines. I would love to get Kerrang, but the subscription is too expensive because they only do subscription for 6 months, and it's something like £35, £40, and sorry, I can't afford that, and no one in my family can really afford to pay me that. So that it's just that kind of expense. Like buying Kerrang on its own is still £2.20, which I know doesn't sound like much, but it feels like loads. I don't know. It just feels like a proper large amount of stuff. Just I don't know. £2.20, and I feel like they don't really take it off, because this comes out every week, I think. Yeah, it comes out every week, so it's properly expensive for getting it £2.20 a week. Yeah, it's £35 for 6 months, which I know is meant to be like cheaper or whatever. I don't know how much you save, but that's really expensive, so I wouldn't want to do that. What I'm thinking of doing is, because with NME, there's a free publication now, and it comes out every Friday, and they just rely on adverts. So what I'd like to do is mostly rely on adverts. I know this isn't a real magazine, I'm taking it way too far, but I'd probably rely mostly on adverts, but still pay at the beginning, probably £2.20, because mine was going to come out every 2 weeks. I think I changed it to every, I don't know, I think it's either weekly or monthly, I don't remember. Although, I was told that some magazines don't do it bi-weekly, as in every 2 weeks, but Rolling Stone magazine is a bi-weekly production. So I still want to change it back to having it every 2 weeks, because I think 2 weeks is just a really good amount of time to be able to do stuff. I think my magazine was coming out on a Saturday, because I feel like Saturday is the time when people would go out and buy it, because you kind of do stuff on a Saturday. So yeah, I feel like a Saturday would be the time to do it. But yeah, I was going to do mine bi-weekly, which magazines do. So I want to change that bit of my proposal. That's something I want to do in the future. So I want to change that bit of my proposal back to bi-weekly, because I knew some magazines did it. I knew it, and they did, and I was right, and and yeah, I just really want to change that back, because I think bi-weekly is so much better, because yeah, you're not doing things immediately, but no magazine is ever going to do something immediately unless something happens to happen just before they put their thing into publishing this. But even then, it's still slightly out of date, because of social media, people will still have heard about it. So, like, bi-weekly, I feel is still a good enough time, because I don't know, yeah, it's not the most recent, but there will still be things that will happen within 2 weeks rather than 1 week. And if, say, a band like, on Monday we're bringing out this, and it's every week, then they're going to have to wait. So say my publication comes out on a Monday every 2 weeks, and something happens on a Sunday the week before, and it says something great's happening, like something's coming out soon, and another magazine does it monthly, and they've already done their monthly edition, but I've done my bi-weekly one, then I don't know, it just makes sense in my head for it to be bi-weekly, and why that will be an effective thing, I don't know, but that's something I kind of want to change back, maybe. I don't know, I feel like weekly you can't put as much care and time into it, whereas if you're doing it bi-weekly, you still have 2 weeks to kind of perfect it. That was originally what I was going to do. Mine is mainly because monthly I feel is too long to get, like, up-to-date news, whereas you do it bi-weekly, you'll still get some up-to-date news, and it will have more time and care put into it, which I much prefer. But yeah, that's something I would like to possibly change back from my original proposal to the one I actually have on my blog. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm always excited with media theory. Coursework theory. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm always really excited about my coursework now. I think I just really want to start doing this for my photo shoot. I'm still a bit iffy about, like, I would really like to go and do it, but it was so much, literally so stressful. It was a bad day. But I do want to start writing up my articles, because creative writing is it is my passion in life, and I just would really like to do that. So yes, I am done. That is what I have been doing. That is what I'm going to do. That is what I did before, and all of that jazz. And I will update you next week. And I hope you enjoyed this beautiful thing. And I hope you enjoyed my beautiful face. And I hope you enjoyed listening to me speak for a really long time, like I do every week. And yes, excellent. Great. Bye! I don't know, yeah. This is meant to be a school thing. That's what worries me the most, is that I'm just doing it like this, and it's like, this is school work. This is going towards an actual A-level. And I'm doing this. Bye!